Yes, everyone, please take a seat. At 7 o'clock, we have a big agenda tonight. I want to make sure we get started and allow time. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular March 13th meeting of the Hoboken Board of Education. Mr. Moffat, do you want to read us in?
Yes, sir. This meeting is being held in conformity to the Open Public Meeting Act. Proper public notice of this meeting was published in local papers on March 10, 2018 and March 11, 2018. If any board member or member of the public in attendance believes that the meeting is in violation of the Open Public Meeting Act, the Hoboken Board of Education requests that they make a statement at this time. The board wishes to make those in attendance aware that this meeting is being recorded on video and will be broadcast by the board at a later date on cable television channel 77 and FiOS channel 46. The full meeting recording will also be made available on board docs, which can be accessed through the district's homepage. The Hoboken Board of Education is committed to preserving the decorum of the public process and is mindful that we live in an electronic age of computers, cell phones, and other electronic communication devices. Nevertheless, we respectfully request that all meeting participants kindly silence electronic devices during the course of the meeting, and if use of the device is necessary, we ask that you please leave the meeting room if you need to conduct personal business. If we could please rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you will, the roll call.
Miss Angley?
Here.
Miss Delera?
Here.
Miss Evans?
Here.
Miss Khanna?
Here.
Mr. Madigan? Here. Miss Sobolov?
Here.
Miss DeKirian?
Here.
And Miss Klupfeld? And Miss Walker?
Here.
And Mr. Klupfeld is here.
Everyone's seated.
First order of business is always recognitions, and we have some very special ones tonight, but we'll start with student recognitions. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Mr. Fitzhugh, that would yield to you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Our Student of the Month recipient for February 2018 from Brant Primary School, Isaac Pineda. How are you? You excited? You sure? I'm excited for you too. Nominated by Ms. Rodriguez, Isaac is the true picture of what a teacher looks for in a leader within a classroom. Isaac is intelligent, he is thoughtful, but most importantly, Isaac is kind. Isaac can be seen helping his peers during dinner time. He explains concepts in ways his peers can understand. He's extremely helpful to all of his teachers and is loved by all. The adult quote, Isaac is a wonderful example to our Brant community and is an amazing testament to the fantastic experiences our district provides to all of our students. Student achievements. Isaac excels in so many areas. He is most proud of his achievement in the area of art. He's able to draw all kinds of ships. His most favorite ship is a battleship because it's so huge. He also wants to know that he is a good friend and always willing to help when things get rough in first grade. What makes this student an asset? He is a quintessential Brant bear. He is driven by his emotional intelligence and uses that to grow his cognitive development and that of his friends. He walks the halls as if he is the principal, and he makes me fear for my job. All right. He leads by example and kindness. This quote comes from Ms. Rodriguez Gomez, your principal. Isaac shares that when he grows up, he wants to be a ninja, and then after he graduates from college, he hopes to serve this great city as a brave and fearless Hoboken fireman. All right. He wants to save lives. Student quote, I want everyone to know that I love my school because there are new and amazing things to learn every day. He also shared that his most special person in his life is his grandmother. His grandmother gives him his favorite candy right before dinner, and he loves that. She also gives him all the love, and that is the best candy of all. At this time, let's give Isaac a huge round of applause on obtaining this great honor.
There.
The brand student of the month for February 2018, Amelie Catamatori. Are you excited? Congratulations. Amelie has been at Calabro since kindergarten. Amelie enjoys sewing and playing board games with her little sister. She is unsure of what she wants to be when she grows up, but she is thinking about becoming a doctor. Amelie loves animals, especially 2 cats at home. Ms. Lake quotes, Amelie is an exceptional student. She strives for excellence in everything that she does, and her kindness and compassion is infectious. Amelie's attempt to exceed expectations and assist others in doing as such is truly inspiring. I know that Amelie can accomplish anything she puts her mind to and will never give any less than her maximum capacities. Amelie quotes, my favorite subject in school is English language arts because I get to write freely during our time writings. Dr. Vespignani quotes, each day at Calabro, Amelie demonstrates all of the great qualities of a student of the month, so this recognition is very deserving. Her genuine kindness and friendly disposition make her an outstanding role model for her peers. She has also excelled academically and has thrived in our gifted and talented program. Congratulations. Let's give Amelie a huge round of applause on obtaining this great honor. The Thomas G. Connor Student of the Month for February 2018, Jaden Soriano. Jaden was nominated for Student of the Month by his 4th grade teacher, Ms. Gwendolyn Rodriguez. Jaden is a dedicated and enthusiastic student. He asks thoughtful questions about the topics discussed in class and extends the application of his skills. Jaden has embraced 4th grade this year, often exceeding the academic expectations in reading, writing, mathematics, and critical thinking skills. He is a dedicated student that consistently completes his work and challenges himself to extend his learning. Jaden is interested in many topics, including word origins and spelling. Jaden has represented Connor School at the Scripps Spelling Bee in 2nd, 3rd, and now 4th grade. This year, Jaden made it to the 4th round of the Spelling Bee. He receives academic honor recognitions every year and is especially proud that his artwork was published in 1st grade. Jaden is a kind young man that is dedicated to his family. He helps his mother around the house and spends time with his aunts, his cousins, and his grandmother. Jaden is also an avid reader and can be found reading a book anytime he has a spare moment. He reads fiction and nonfiction books, often making connections between his personal reading and the lessons in class. His teacher, Ms. Rodriguez, states, Jaden is like a walking encyclopedia. He can provide facts about almost any topic and subject we discuss in class. Jaden would also like to attend college in New Jersey and study Japanese and computers, and he strives for a career in technology. Jaden was ecstatic when told that he was receiving the honor of District Student of the Month for Connors School and could not wait to inform his aunt and mother. When asked how he felt about the award and attending Connors School, Jaden replied, "It felt jaw-dropping and amazing to win this award. My mom was really happy. I would like the people of Hoboken to know that my years at Connors School have been great. My favorite memory," "My favorite memory is when I graduated from kindergarten and moved on to first grade." At this time, let's give Jaden a big round of applause for obtaining this great honor. The Wallace Student of the Month for February 2018, Jace Fuller, pre-K3. Mom, you can come up with them. Hi, Jace. How you doing? All right. The Wallace School Student of the Month for February 2018 is Mr. Jace Fuller, a student in Mrs. Redding's pre-K3 class. Mrs. Redding nominated Jace for all of his hard work in class, all of the goals he's met since the start of the year, and for being a kind friend. Jace has a smile that lights up the room and makes you want to walk over and meet him, said Mrs. Redding. I think we all can agree, correct? Yeah. He wants the microphone. Jace is a great brother to his twin, John. Jace always tries to help his brother and his other friends, and this is what makes him so special. He's okay. Yeah. His care and concern for others. Jace is always quick to comfort a student who may be crying, to ask them if they may want to be his buddy for the day, or ask if they need a hug to feel better. Academically, Jace tries his best at all times. He is learning perseverance and to stay on course and accomplish the task. From counting to writing his name to learning his friends' names and working on letter sounds, Jace is a young man who works so hard. You can catch Jace belting out songs that Mrs. Redding and her class sing during the day, even when there's no music. Jace especially enjoys the Baby Shark song. With his determination, Jace can do anything he sets his mind when he grows up, stated by Principal Shannon. Mrs. Redding went on to say, Jace makes you think of this quote: "If you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours." Congratulations, Mr. Jace Fuller, the Wallace Elementary Student of the Month for February 2018. The Hoboken Middle School Student of the Month for February 2018, Nyla Garcia. Good, good. Her teachers describe Nyla as very motivated academically. She completes all of her work on time and takes advantage of every opportunity to increase her grades. Nyla is also very kind and helpful. She supports her classmates on a daily basis. and is always open to working with anyone in the class. Her presence is refreshing and aids in creating a positive learning environment within her class. The teachers use the following quote to describe Nyla: "Leadership is practiced not so much in words as in attitude and in actions." Your principal, Dr. Davis, used the following quote to describe you: "In a gentle way, you can shape the world." And Dr. Davis stated that she has seen several opportunities for you to observe your gentle ways. Nyla's past and present achievements include recognition of Student of the Month in grade 7, as well as participating in the 2017 Junior Academy Model United Nations Conference. This provided her the opportunity to foster and utilize the skills of public speaking, debate, collaboration, and communication. She has always received second honor roll, but this year she received her first honor recognition, so congratulations on that. Nyla is an asset to the Hoboken Middle School community. She's always ready to help anyone out in class. She has a very calm demeanor, and students feel very comfortable working with her. She is curious about the world around her and is always willing to assist others. Although she hasn't decided which college she would like to attend, she made the first step, which is to attend college after high school. Her future career aspirations is to become a professional athlete. When asked about a quote that means a lot to her, Nyla stated, "Failure gave me strength, pain gave me motivation." She pointed out that if she ever feels that she might fail at a task, she envisions what would happen if she kept trying. She knows she will succeed if she does not give up and just continues to try her very best. Hoboken Middle School is so very proud of Nyla and her accomplishments. She exhibits the true essence of a Hoboken Middle School Pride student: perseverance, respect, integrity, dedication, and excellence. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. The Hoboken High School, February 2018, Student of the Month, Demaria Davenport, grade 12. Nominated by Ms. Miller, Ms. Miller states, "In all of my years as being an educator, Demaria will be a student that leaves an everlasting impression in my heart. She's dedicated in making sure that she gets the most out of her educational experiences at Hoboken High School. She participates in multitudes of clubs and extracurricular activities, such as Drama Club, where she has won superior medals of excellence for her theatrical performances, chorus, and poetry out loud, in which she was the school representative. These experiences have provided her creative artistic opportunities to grow as an individual. Wherever life takes her, I know Demaria will continue to shine bright as a leader, challenging herself to be a beacon of light, hope, and strength for everyone around her." Principal Pietra states, "When you think of a well-rounded student, this young lady is the one who comes to my mind. Already accepted," are you ready? "To 9 colleges with academic scholarship money to each of these schools. Ms. Pietra states that she finds this honor to be the icing on the cake for you for a phenomenal 4 years at Hoboken High School. She is active in the school community when she is not working on her academics. You are also an active member of the Drama Club. She's a talented young lady who carries herself with great maturity. On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Demaria read Martin Luther King's famous speech, 'I Have a Dream,' for the community, and during our Unity Luncheon in February, in celebration of Black History Month, she recited it once again for the entire school community. She continues to give back to the school and community in every way possible. As principal, I am honored to have her as a student, and I look forward to hearing about her many accomplishments in years to come. Demaria's post-secondary plans include additionally applying to Princeton and Cornell University to study chemistry. Demaria spends her time reading and practicing for theater competitions. When notified about the award, Demaria states, "All of my hard work is paying off." At this time, let's give Demaria a big round of applause. Job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to the students. Whenever anybody asks me what we do on the school board, I say, well, our number one job is just to make sure you got some great educators in the room with some eager learners, and so they think, and then you get out of the way. And I think tonight we have some special recognitions for to recognize some of those great educators. So I'm going to turn it over to somebody else at this point.
Okay, so to round out our awards and our recognitions for this evening, we are going to be honoring our Educators of the Year, as well as our Educational Service Professionals of the Year. And then we also have an additional student recognition and the recognition of our music department, as well as students who attended the Chamber Music Day at Montclair State University. But as a result of a championship basketball game, we're pushing the student portion and the recognition of the music department until after we honor our incredible teachers and professionals that are here this evening. So what we're going to do in order to facilitate that process is work our way through Brant all the way to the high school. So I'll start by having Ms. Rodriguez Gomez come on up and do the honors for the Brant Primary School.
So we'll begin with the Governor's Teacher of the Year, and we are highlighting Elizabeth Pecoraro. Elizabeth is, come on down, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is outstanding on so many fronts. She has shown herself to be a person not to shy away from challenges or new opportunities. She is a veteran teacher and always ready to see what the year can bring. I have known her for 4 years, and initially as a former preschool teacher. In this capacity, she excelled in her practice and served as one of our fishbowl model classrooms. Her responsibility was to host visits. You can't read it. Her responsibility was to host visits from both in-district and visiting teachers so that they could watch her and grow their own practice. She attended professional development opportunities associated with this responsibility so that she may continue to grow her craft in the areas of classroom environment, effective writing strategies in the early grades, and powerful question and discussion techniques. She is the consummate learner. She most recently shifted her work to now being our kindergarten science teacher, leading the project Lead the Way charge and the implementation of the Next Gen Science Standards. She has created a world of discovery that is both challenging yet encouraging. She understands and encourages the learning through play modalities, and these are apparent in her classroom. She allows for students to find meaning in materials and supplies through application, and is sure to connect her activities to the lesson's daily objective. She is a professional who arrives early, gets there before I do, and she often leaves late. She is always prepared and at the ready with either an answer for me or for a parent who might inquire regarding a task. I am very much a fan of how she makes her lessons spill out into the hallways. This allows her lessons to be shared with all of the teachers that are her colleagues. They have been so very inspired that some have replicated her lesson with a mathematical or literacy theme. This is her true power, her infectious spirit. Teachers initially seek her out for her time in the profession, but continue to seek her out because of her powerful practice. We are a better school because she is on staff. Finally, she is one of these teachers that always surprises you, but in a very good way. She is a team player, truly collegial, incredibly active in our school community, and has come to be known as the lead of the science work at Brant. That is not big, friends, it is huge. Her rapport extends into the homes of our students, and it is because of her that our school community continues to be excited about science and discovery. On behalf of the Brant Primary School family, I present to you Miss Elizabeth Pecoraro as the Teacher of the Year. Photo. Ms. Yajaira Santiago, Governor Specialist of the Year, come on up. Congratulations. Yajaira is one of the most energetic and engaging people that I have ever come across. I have heard many team members comment that her energy and zeal are infectious. I completely agree. She exhausts me. She is a team member who truly understands that it takes an entire village of thoughtful and skilled professionals to affect the lives of the youngest learners. She is collaborative and collegial with all whom she encounters and always presents herself in the most professional capacity. She has known the trajectories of this work, first as a classroom teacher and now as a master teacher, a teacher coach. It is not easy to move from one of these realities to the next, but she has managed to do it with ease and grace. She served as a coach to teachers with whom she worked alongside and has ensured that their professional relationship blossoms and is seen as one that is both positive and focused on student gains. She has also understood her leadership potential and is maximizing it. She is often at the table when we're thinking of our early childhood work holistically, ensuring that we remain focused and inclusive. She is a person who thrives off challenges and does not shy away from every new initiative that I might think of rolling out. Her constant attention to detail ensures that as a unit, we always put our best foot forward, and for this, we remain eternally grateful. Yajaira is not afraid to tell me that she doesn't understand something and realizes that her depth of awareness will make her a better coach and ambassador of early childhood work. This is why her professional development sessions had the most positive and powerful feedback. We have read that teachers find her to be engaging, funny, informative, approachable, and accessible. We should all know coaches like her. I'm such a crybaby. We are a better team and a better unit because she is a member of it. Finally, she is one of these professionals that are always at the table vetting problems and providing powerful solutions. She has imbued in her teams a new level of excellence. The interesting thing about her is that she is so many things, but chief among these is that she is incredibly humble. It is this humility that has been the hallmark of her professional life and the constant that makes her such a profoundly effective teacher, coach, leader, and team member. On behalf of the Hoboken Early Childhood Department and the Brant School, I present you Ms. Yajaira Santiago.
Next up is the Calabro Elementary School.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to recognize the Calabro Teacher of the Year. I welcome the occasion due to the high caliber of the person who has been selected. Tonight, Calabro will just recognize the Teacher of the Year, as our qualified candidates for Educational Services Professional have already received such recognition. So I'm pleased to invite up Ms. Maria Momblatt. Ms. Momblatt has been a music educator for the past 8 years in the Hoboken Public Schools, teaching general music to students in grades kindergarten through 6th, chorus to students in grades 3rd through 6th, and strings to students in grades 3rd through 12th. In her time teaching in the district, she has grown the strings program from a handful of students to nearly 80 across 3 schools. At Calabro, over 90% of grade-eligible students choose to play a string instrument each year. A merit and academic scholarship recipient, Ms. Momblatt received her Bachelor of Music from Catholic University of America's Benjamin T. Rome School of Music, where she studied violin with Judy Gatwood and music education with Dr. Sharon Battersby. In 2015, she received her Master of Music from Boston University's College of Fine Arts, where she studied with Dr. Andre de Quadros. Her thesis, Curriculum Design, reflecting the strengths of urban students and their communities, explored the impact of music instruction on students in urban education. And in 2017, Ms. Momblatt obtained her supervisor endorsement from Rutgers University Graduate School of Education. She has put this to immediate use, as she's contributed greatly to our learning community, serving on both our School Climate Committee and School Improvement Panel. She has also presented professional development workshops to her colleagues at faculty meetings. Most recently, she created and presented a Socratic seminar rubric to be used by students to critique and provide feedback to their peers after an in-class discussion. She also supports her colleagues through her lessons, which regularly contain park-like writing tasks and academic vocabulary in mathematics. Ms. Momblatt is an extremely talented educator, and this has been on full display at the district concerts each year. For anyone who has heard the strings program perform, it's clear that she has an incredible gift in teaching music. My jaw literally drops at the winter concert each year as I ask myself how it's possible that she gets, in just 3 short months, the students to sound to perform at that level. And after being in her classroom on so many occasions, the answer has become clear to me. It's not just a matter of her pedagogical skill in teaching the content, but rather the relationship that she fosters with each child. Our students hold Ms. Momblatt in the highest regard because of how she makes them feel each day: valued, cared for, encouraged, and unique. It is my honor to present Ms. Maria Momblatt as the Calabro Teacher of the Year because she is a highly effective educator who is ethical, compassionate, maintains integrity at all times. Her commitment to the education profession can best be described as exceptional. Congratulations, Ms. Momblatt.
I am pleased at this time to ask up to the podium the Connors Teacher of the Year, Mr. Kevin Metcalf. Mr. Metcalf is a true gem and is of great value to us at T.G. Connors Elementary School. He has worked in Hoboken for a total of 14 years and is a positive fixture within our building. Mr. Metcalf received his bachelor's degree from Seton Hall University in Classical Studies. He earned his master's degree in education and enhanced his education by earning a graduate certificate in science and engineering from Stevens Institute of Technology and his graduate certificate in educational leadership from Montclair State University. Mr. Metcalf conducts himself with an extreme level of professionalism in his role as one of our STEAM teachers and in his role as a building representative for the Hoboken Education Association. I admire his work ethic and constant willingness to always jump in wherever needed. He consistently goes above and beyond the call of duty. He has become the district resident expert when it comes to setting up fish tanks for our Trout in the Classroom program. He has also played an integral part in the Hoboken School District being awarded the Bronze Level Certificate for Sustainable Schools. As a teacher, he has transformed his science lab into a home for various forms of animal and plant life that the students get to enjoy daily. He also has designed and tends to the school garden. Our students work with him and gain insight into the importance of sustainability. He even ensures that there are purple flowers in the garden because he knows that they are my favorite color. In our eyes, Mr. Metcalf is truly a Renaissance man. He supports his colleagues on a daily basis and shares best practices with the science department to ensure the academic needs of all students are being met. Mr. Metcalf is always eager to provide his insight as to how we can ensure that Connors remains a great place for staff and students. He greets students and parents in the morning. At times, he has even walked a few students to class when they've had a little bit of a rough morning. Mr. Metcalf is dedicated to the well-being of students and staff. He is a true team player, and he is a genuine human being. His presence adds to the family feel of Connors. On behalf of the Connors Elementary School family, I present to you Mr. Kevin Metcalf as the Teacher of the Year for Connors Elementary School. At this time, I would like to ask to the podium the Connors Educational Support Professional of the Year, my Dean, Mr. Ryan Sorfie. Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Mr. Sorfie joined the T.G. Connors team this year, and we were excited to welcome him to our school. Mr. Sorfie earned his bachelor's degree from Springfield College and completed the coursework for his principal and supervisor certification from St. Peter's College. His formal and practical training has prepared him to serve in the leadership capacity of Dean of Students and Programs. He quickly acclimated to our school and has built relationships with not just students, but also parents and the community. He is new to the Connors family, but a veteran in Hoboken School District. He came to us after spending 14 years as a teacher at the Hoboken High School. Mr. Sorfine's transition from high school to elementary school was seamless. He quickly established himself as a true leader at Connors while keeping his ties to the high school as the coach for the girls' basketball team. His dual role of dean and coach allows him to make an impact on the elementary and secondary level, which increases his contribution to the youth within our district. As our dean, his sustained hard work and professional manner helps to build a rapport with various stakeholders and forge binding relationships. Mr. Sorfine works extremely hard and is always willing to go above and beyond for our school. In an effort to support teachers, he has designed and conducted trainings on behavior management and implemented creative behavior plans for students. Mr. Sorfine finds a way to meet all of our students at their level in an effort to help coach them to new academic and social heights. He is relentless in his dedication to the academic and social growth of our students. Mr. Sorfine has created innovative programs for our students that include our leadership group for boys, our 6th grade kindness team, and our morning reflection program for student mediation and problem solving. Our most notable program is our monthly positive office referral and classroom highlight assembly. Students are highlighted in front of the entire school for their positive behavior and provide an academic presentation to the student body. This assembly promotes positive student behavior and has become a catalyst for deterring negative behaviors. As a former physical education teacher, he works physical competition into the assembly. These assemblies incorporate the physical, social, and academic components that are needed to support the whole child. Mr. Sorfine is dedicated to the well-being of our entire school community and provides supports to students, staff, and parents. He is an integral part of our leadership team, and it is a pleasure to work with him daily in support of all of our students and families at Connors. On behalf of the Connors Elementary School family, I present to you Mr. Ryan Sorfine as the Educational Support Professional of the Year for Connors School. Congratulations.
Also, one note on that, Mr. Sorfine, as the coach of the Lady Red Wings basketball team, this year beat the Bayonne Bees girls team, probably the first time we beat them in 30 years. So he's turned the program around. So also congratulations on that.
At this time, we'll have Mrs. Shannon Wallace Elementary.
Good evening. It is an honor to be before you tonight on behalf of Mrs. Josephine Mazzone, the Wallace Elementary School Teacher of the Year for 2017-18. Mrs. Mazzone comes to our district by the way of St. Peter's University, where she earned a bachelor's degree in education, and New Jersey City University, where she earned a master's in administration supervision. She then began her 41-year teaching career in Hoboken shortly thereafter. She currently teaches second grade. At various times throughout her career, Mrs. Mazzone served as the IRS Committee Chairperson, an NJEA delegate, and as a member of the County Superintendent of Schools Professional Development Committee. The professionalism with which Mrs. Mazzone approaches her daily responsibility is a product of a mindset dedicated to seeing all students achieve all that the school system promises. This mindset allows her to serve all of our children to the fullest of her ability. Mrs. Mazzone embodies a spirit of teaching and that all students can learn when teachers invest and believe in them. Mrs. Mazzone's wealth of experience is one of Wallace School's most precious commodities. Her veteran colleagues, as well as those just taking their first steps in the profession, continually seek her advice, whether it is for the best classroom practice or how to reach struggling students. She is a consummate advocate for educational professionals, both at the local and state level. Without doubt, Mrs. Mazzone is an asset to our school community. It is with great pride that I congratulate and present to you Mrs. Josephine Mazzone, the 2017-18 Teacher of the Year for Wallace Elementary School.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Once again, good evening. It is an honor to be here tonight before you on behalf of Mrs. Carrie Ellis, the Wallace Elementary School Educational Service Professional of the Year. I have known Mrs. Ellis for about 5 years, and to say she is anything but amazing would be an understatement. She is a consummate professional, an outstanding social worker, and a kind and loving human being. She is one of the strongest people I know. Mrs. Ellis attended the University of Delaware, where she earned a bachelor's degree in Family and Community Services, and NYU, where she earned a master's in social work. She then began her career here in Hoboken. Mrs. Ellis is there for everyone in need of assistance and support. She is my go-to in a time of counsel or for just a conversation. I've seen Carrie drop everything to assist our most vulnerable when they're at their most vulnerable. Her skill set is unmatched. Without a doubt, her presence at Wallace is felt by those who specifically provide service for through her caseload or with the community at large. Carrie has been a member of our school family for over a decade. She's an integral part of our school fabric, a thread that helps hold us all together. Whether it is dedicating time and going above and beyond for our community's children or lending support and wisdom to her peers and colleagues, Wallace School is grateful to call this outstanding educator our own. It is my honor to present to you Wallace Educational Service Professional of the Year 2017-18, Mrs. Carrie Ellis.
this time, Dr. Davis, Hoboken Middle School.
Good evening, everyone. It is with great pride that I speak to you about our Teacher of the Year, Rachel Laughlin. Miss Laughlin, I'm sorry. Rachel Laughlin is our Hoboken Middle School Teacher of the Year. She graduated from Georgetown University with a degree in history and later earned an administrative degree from St. Peter's College, my alma mater. She later began her educational career in Hoboken Public Schools, which she has and continued to have a positive trajectory impact on the students, parents, teachers, staff, and in the community. Mrs. Rachel Laughlin has been a social studies teacher with the Hoboken Public Schools for 18 years. Job well done. In 2001, she started her career at Hoboken High School and was part of the Hoboken family for 17 years. This year, she entered her 18th year, and it was great pleasure that she started it at the Hoboken Middle School as our grade 8 social studies teacher. The middle school has been filled with transitions and change. It was relocated from the high school building to the Demarest building, and the 7th graders transitioned from elementary school to middle school. Ms. Laughlin transitioned with us as well. She transitioned from the high school to the 8th grade and accepted it with an open heart and open arms. She's always ready to take on any task that comes to her. She's contributed to our school community in ways that cannot be explained. She always has a smile on her face and greets everyone, "Hey, ma'am," her signature greeting to the young ladies and young boys of our school, teaching them daily basic manners. She has quickly become a mentor to our new teachers. In her role as mentor, she has provided support and guidance to our novice teachers as they transition into our school community. She collaborates with her peers, discuss and design lessons to address the needs of our diverse learners. She continues to provide innovative approaches to enhance our learning community, as well as everyday reflective practices of teaching our students to be responsible citizens in a global society. Her 18 years of teaching experiences is invaluable. Our students hold her in high regard as well. One student described her as cool. She's always enthusiastic, always positive, which makes learning fun, the essence of a true educator. I've been fortunate to witness how quickly she develops good rapport with her students, establishes solid routines, and employs consistent and fair practices in her classroom. Ms. Laughlin takes an active interest in the well-being of each and every one of her students. Her students respond well to her genuine interest in them. She has contributed much to our staff, both professionally and personally. Her contributions are beyond the school community, as she shared with me that she worked with the National Archives in Washington, D.C. on the Veterans Project. The project's purpose was to preserve the stories of the Hoboken veterans. This work is presently on file at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. Ms. Laughlin is highly valued teaching member of the Hoboken Middle School and in Hoboken Public School. It is my honor to present Mrs. Rachel Laughlin as the Hoboken Middle School 2017-2018 Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, an award well deserved. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. David Antunes. Be very close. It is with great pride I speak to you about Mr. David Antunes, Hoboken's Middle School Educational Support Professional of the Year. Mr. Antunes received his degree from Kane University. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education with an additional major in psychology. He also possesses a Master's of Arts in Educational Psychology and an LDTC certification. He has been an adjunct professor at Kane University since 2011 with the Department of Special Education and Literacy courses. He has taught multicultural education and diverse learners, learning theory, transition for students with disabilities, to name a few. Mr. Antunes has been in the Hoboken School District for the past 6 years. He serves in the capacity of the Learning Disabilities Teacher Consultant for the middle school and high school building. He has used his educational experiences to have a positive, lifelong influences on our students, parents, teachers, staff, and our community. I've had many opportunities to witness and appreciate the exceptional work he has and continues to do in the role as our LDTC consultant. He wears many hats in this position. As the educational specialist on the IEP team, a facilitator of meetings, a case manager, a liaison between home and school, to name a few. Exhausting, and then you teach after that, right? Mr. Antunes has created the needed balance to execute these roles and responsibility with the highest degree of professionalism, empathy, and integrity. Our students hold him in high regard because of his calm demeanor and his unconditional support in addressing their academic and social emotional needs. He is resourceful and skilled at problem solving. He is skilled at determining learning disabilities, coupled with the ability to determine the strengths and weaknesses. He continuously brings to the table innovative and appropriate programs and strategies to address the diverse needs of our students. He has the unique ability to support and coach our students and staff to become self-sufficient and self-reliant, while teaching us all to be accountable. He is a solid and positive force in our learning community because of his broad-based knowledge of current research-based practices. He has worked collaboratively with our teachers in the building in building their instructional capacity of team teaching through job-embedded support and coaching. He is a keen listener in determining the needs of others, but equally skilled at explaining, teaching, and modeling to others. Mr. Antunes is an exceptional educator. His ability to think outside the box in designing instructional strategies to promote best practices to support our classroom teachers has ensured that all of our students have and will meet their highest potential and social goals. His hands-on approach in supporting our school community is invaluable. He has and continues to use his expertise in consulting with parents as he builds and sustains relationships to support student success. Mr. Antunes is a highly valued teaching member of the Hoboken Middle School. It is my honor to present Mr. Antunes as Hoboken Middle School's 2017-2018 Educational Support Professional of the Year.
Principal Pietra, Hoboken High School.
Good evening. So I wanted, when I heard Mr. Antunes was the Educational Specialist of the Year, of course I was thrilled. I've worked with Mr. Antunes for 6 years, his 6 years in the district, and of course was not surprised because I've had the pleasure of seeing all the great work he does and still do. When I think I'm early in the morning getting to work at 5 to 7, 10 to 7, I come up my stairs and the light in his office is always on. He's in at 6:30, 6:35, 6:40. On my best day, I cannot beat this man to work. His advocacy for the students, knowledge of their needs, makes him an exceptional member of our team, and an amazing LDTC. I get to know him really well on our INRS committee, and he is a gem. The entire team kind of just looks to the end of the table when we're working with him, because when we're pulling our hair out or thinking of new ideas, he just pulls out amazing things. His experience and his input is so valued by our team, whether it's organizational skills, developing a behavior plan, how to motivate a student. We always can count on him to work with us. He worked in higher education, and he is so well-read. His early morning emails are spot on with current research in the field, tips on co-teaching, or an article that he just thinks we would all benefit from. He supports his team, his teachers, his students, and his administration whenever he can, and he's always willing to take extra work on to ensure he is serving the needs of his students. So from Hoboken High School, we also want to say congratulations and thank you, Mr. Antunes. She is kind, gives her time generously, gives up her lunch, and it is so obvious that she cares about her students. This is a quote from one of her Algebra 2 students. It is my honor to stand before all of you and present our Educator of the Year, Ms. Curdy Tank. There we go. Mrs. Tank was meant to teach math. And if anyone in this room has sat in on her class, you would know why. Her expertise in the content area is beyond reproach, and her work with students is outstanding. As a principal, you consider yourself extremely fortunate to have someone of such great character and passion working in your school. Mrs. Tank holds Bachelor's of Science in Physics, Chemistry, and Math, a Master's in Mathematics, and all her education was done in India. She came to us 18 years ago, and each year she teaches with the passion of a new teacher. Married to, forgive me if I pronounce the names wrong, Samir. She has raised her daughters, Anmal, who is currently working on her master's in biomedical sciences and is currently in New York School of Podiatry Medicine, and Anshul, who is at Rutgers pursuing her doctorate in a pharmacy program. Mrs. Tank has consistently shown strong leadership qualities with her highest priority as an educator, serving the needs of her students. Instead of seeing the challenges of our ever-transforming educational system, she embraces them, learns from them, and adapts her curriculum as well as her instructional methods without compromising her values and her students' needs. Mrs. Tanks is one of the most supportive teachers I have met. She works with her department and shares with them her great knowledge of mathematics, as well as what works in the classroom. She is the veteran teacher in the department and is always there to assist our newer faculty. She shares ideas, plans, techniques, and also provides constructive feedback to ensure that she is providing them with the skills to be successful. Mrs. Tank has developed a rapport with students that allows them to grow and reach their full potential. When asking students about Mrs. Tank, she is characterized by mutual respect. She takes her time out of the day during her lunch and after school to ensure that students have every opportunity to be successful in her class. She personalizes her work, and if a student doesn't understand a concept, she reflects on it and finds a solution. I need to be clear. Mrs. Tank will never be called an easy teacher or a teacher that goes easy on students. She demands that students engage with the tasks and find solutions, even when they are ready to give up. During PGP, she has a room full of students working in little groups, depending on which content they're working on, finding solutions to work what they have struggled with in class. Mrs. Tank has the pleasure of providing calculus to our seniors. Anyone who is a teacher in high school knows by the end of the third marking period, they are toast. They come to class and she does not let up. Mrs. Tank, I am already accepted. Why do we have to continue doing new concepts? because you need to be prepared for college is always her answer, and she continues on. Inevitably, in September, Mrs. Tank receives multiple emails from graduates who thank her for pushing them, sharing how they are now assisting other students in their college classes with the content. Mrs. Tank also is the math club advisor. Every month she has the team compete in the New Jersey Mathematics League competitions, and we have seen our students make great strides over the past couple of years. For the first time, our students last year attended the Stevens Math Olympiad and really did well. She continues to find challenge and work for her students that will raise their performance. And tomorrow, we all know that Mrs. Tank will hold her annual pizza party for Pi Day, along with the math challenge for whoever is up for it. Mrs. Tank is remarkable, inspiring individual who deserves recognition for her dedication to her profession, her students, and Hoboken High School. I am not sure what we would do without her. On behalf of the Hoboken High School family, I present to you Ms. Curdy Tank, our Teacher of the Year. Congratulations. Nurse is so energetic, compassionate, gives good advice, and has cared for me this entire year. One of our students. I was so happy to be able to present to Miss Rini Taronis, our Educational Support Person of the Year. This role is something that is at times taken for granted, but should never be underestimated. After all, when a student is vomiting and everyone is running the other way, Mrs. Taronis is heading in. Mrs. Taronis received her RN license with a degree in nursing from Pace University. She received her BSN from West Virginia University and received her school nurse certificate and her master's in nursing from NJCU. With over 21 years of experience in school nursing, she has spent the last 14 years in the Hoboken Public School District. Mrs. Taronis is married and has 3 children, the youngest who has gone off to college, and she is now an empty nester. But she always has 400 students that count on her daily. Mrs. Taronis possesses a profound expertise in the nursing arena. She is able to handle a high volume of work. She is well organized, fully capable of student care ranging from stomach aches to more serious ailments. Mrs. Taronis understands the nature of the students she serves and is able to work with them as well as their families. She encourages students to get involved in preventative care in order to impact their health in a positive way. If you go in for a Band-Aid, you come out with a life lesson. Her experience in hospital work prior to school nursing provides our student body and staff with the best of care. Having raised 3 children of her own, Mrs. Taronis understands that the teenage brain. The first question asked when they come in, what class are you coming from and do you have a pass? She owns the mission of our school and does not want students missing class time unless necessary. She is a smart woman who knows that kids never wish to miss the gym, but are more than willing to step out of science class. She does not play that game with the students. Frustrated, they head back to class. It is her intuition that makes her such a valued member of our team. I have yet to meet a nurse who is as compassionate and professional as Mrs. Taronis, and yet manages to keep her head above water. In a school of over 400 students, her responsibilities range from emotional care to urgent care, and she does so with ease. She manages screenings for incoming students, as well as students that are due for updates, and often assists staff with any necessary concerns. Once again, her work on the INRS team is invaluable, and she is the strongest advocate for the students. Not only does she understand their medical needs, but she makes it to understand the student as a whole. She takes all of this into account when working with students and developing plans in committee. She has established relationships with doctors and therapists in the community to ensure all documentation we get is up to date and reflects the proper care. When not in the nurse's office, Mrs. Taronis gives her time as an advisor to the LGBT group and is an active member for our Safe Sitter program, where students can earn certifications in infant and toddler CPR. She's an active member of our school-level emergency response team and our Code Blue team. Mrs. Taronis is remarkable and an inspiring individual who deserves recognition for her dedication to her nursing profession, but more so as such a strong advocate for the students and families. I am extremely lucky, a lucky principal, to have Mrs. Taronis on my team. On behalf of Hoboken High School family, I present to you Mrs. Rini Taronis as the Educational Support Person of the Year.
And Rini, I have a message from my cousins who I told you would be receiving this award since you grew up with my cousins and sisters, and they'd like to congratulate you from the Murphy girls and the Madigan girls. So congratulations from them.
All right. How about we give one more round of applause for all of our educators and educational service professionals of the year. Okay, so I saw Tegan Clark come in. Are you here, Tegan? Yeah, all right, there you are. So now we can start with the, complete the student recognition. So first I'd like Rain Cyan to come up. Where are you? Good. All right. This evening, I'd like to recognize Rain Cyan from Calabro Elementary School. Rain is a fourth grade student who loves academic challenges. Her teachers refer to her as a joy to have in class and a natural role model. Participating in the 59th annual Jersey Journal Hudson County Spelling Bee did not rattle Rain at all. Instead, she represented Calabro Elementary School and the Hoboken Public School District with poise and grace. Rain stayed composed throughout the competition while competing against students up to 4 grade levels older than her. Rain finished the competition, placing 8th in the county overall. We could not be more proud of Rain and see unlimited accolades coming her way. Rain, your teachers and principal, Assistant Superintendent Fitzhugh, the Board of Education, and I would like to congratulate you on this fantastic accomplishment. We hope to see you represent your school and our district again in years to come. Congratulations.
Rain asked me to do that. Woohoo for Rain.
Okay. On Saturday, January 27th, a select group of advanced band students at the upper elementary school level performed in a Chamber Day festival at Montclair State University. In order to prepare for this type of festival, students needed to commit to grueling rehearsal schedules and take ownership of their individual parts. As you know, advanced classical music is extremely challenging, but these students were up for it. Arriving at Montclair State University, our students joined with talented musicians from school districts across the state to play in various ensembles throughout the day. They also received pre-concert coaching from the John Calley School of Music faculty and students at Montclair State University. Our students and music staff participated in a number of workshops at this Chamber Music Day, which included one on African drumming and composition. According to Mr. Enrico and Ms. Safko, our students did an extremely great job. They performed at the same high levels as their peer musicians from other districts and impressed everyone with their ensemble performances at the end of the day. As the music department here in the Hoboken Public School District continues to progress, it is experiences such as these that will elevate those who are already involved in our music program while encouraging others to participate. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce those students who participated in the Montclair State University's Chamber Music Day by instrument and welcome each up to the podium for a certificate of recognition. On flute, we have Crystal Balau, we also have Alana Rivas. Nova Corman. Desiree Cirilli. Over here, Desiree. Congratulations. And we also have Charlotte Yang. Congratulations, Charlotte. Okay. We also have on clarinet, Naomi Cook and Reedy Demani. Congratulations. Okay. Keep staying on up there, everyone. We have on saxophone, Tegan Clark. And on trombone, we have Arthur Pauley. And on percussions, we have Jeremy De Villiers? Is that close? De Villar, okay. And we also have Alexa Bracara. And for you, come out here and say that. Oh, okay, thank you. Here you go, Alexa. You're welcome. And if the students could just stay up here for a moment. Students, your talent and commitment to music, scholarship, and performance is why you are here this evening. I am sure that you feel grateful for the family support that you receive on a daily basis. However, if you could also take a moment and thank your music teachers, that would be wonderful, and I have a few things to say about them as well. Tonight really is a special evening because we are not only honoring incredibly dedicated students, but also very talented professionals. It is only fitting to recognize the work of our entire music department as well. In addition to teaching general music, our music department introduces children to musical instruments and coaches lessons. They facilitate and conduct band and marching band. The music staff also supports our choral program and works hand in hand with our theater arts department. District-wide, we have 155 students participating in instrumental music, almost 80 students participating in strings across the district, and 180 students participating in choir. While we are recognizing a group of extremely talented students, I also wanted to recognize our entire music department for sharing their love of music with our students and for delivering a high-quality program that only continues to grow. Mr. Enrico, Ms. Safko, Mr. Stasiak, Mr. Izzardo, Ms. Monblatt, and Mrs. Hoyt, would you all come up or stand up, please, if you're here? We'd like to recognize your contributions to the district and to these students and take a photo with the students as well. I know. All right. Yeah.
Well, once again, congratulations, and thank you for all your teachers for the hard work, and congratulations to the teachers and the students. Any board members have any comments to add? Then we'll move on to the...
Tom?
Yes? I'm sorry.
So I just wanted to say one thing. Similar to Ms. Rodriguez-Gomez, I am also a crybaby, and so thankfully Ms. Evans has got tissues for me, but just sitting here and listening to all the accomplishments of our staff, our teachers, our professionals, and our students is really so heartwarming and wonderful, and thank you all for everything that you do today for the teachers and professionals, for our classrooms, for our students, for our district, and for all of you, the children who were acknowledged here. Way to go, and keep on, working hard and dedicating yourself. So thank you so much for all the accomplishments and everything we're seeing today. It's wonderful.
We still have a ways to go tonight, and I want to get through the reports. Dr. Johnson, do you have any further reports? No reports tonight. Mr. Moffett?
Yeah, just a short and sweet. The governor provided his budget message today, this afternoon. There wasn't anything of surprise in it. It's been pretty well covered, but they were positive notes, so I expect to have good news to report out in the next couple days when I receive state aid. So a couple highlights is that the overall increase in the budget was about $2.7 billion, which is positive since they're adding to the budget.
Mr. Moffett, you just hold on
Sure.
one second. Let's just wait for about 30 seconds. This is important. So.
I'll hold tight.
All right, Mr. Moffett, you want to continue?
Sure. As I was saying, it was an overall positive message. There was no major cuts highlighted in the speech, which is obviously a positive note. We did identify increasing revenue for the budget process at the state level, which included a sales tax increase, income tax, and some new corporate taxes. Again, that's all positive. Another targeted, at least to K-12 or pre-K-12, is the increase in pre-K aid, which increased by about $57 million, which is a significant increase. So that should be felt across all districts. For the employees and all district employees and staff members, it does include a sizable pension payment, which is, again, helpful for our pension and benefits for individual employees. And the last note, which is a little bit of a neutral statement from the governor, had to do with state aid. At this point, they're saying about 94% of all districts will see an increase. There's a little caveat there in the sense that they will be redistributing the aid as well, but hopefully we're not part of the 6%, which we'd see a further reduction in our state aid. So I'm holding tight for the state aid notification, which will come in a day or so. That concludes my report.
So that's generally good news for the district, as opposed to years past?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Curriculum Committee, Ms. Delara?
Sure. The Curriculum and Wellness Committee did not meet due to the snowstorm that we got and the schools were closed. Dr. Johnson did distribute to the entire board the agenda. All agenda items were reviewed and are recommended for approval tonight. One item that I'd like to point out on your packet is 9.01. The approval of agreement between NJIT and Hoboken High School for advanced academic achievement. And that is for the dual high school and collegiate credit. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Facilities Committee, Ms. Sobolov.
Yes, the committee didn't meet for the same snowstorm. The schools had a snow day, so they were closed that day. Many of the items on the agenda were going to be updates on ongoing projects like the demography report and the summer project, so there'll be more to report out next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sobolov. Finance Committee, Ms. Angley.
The Finance Committee met on Tuesday, March 6th at 6 p.m. In attendance were Mr. Moffitt, Mr. Klepfel, Mr. Madigan, Ms. Sobolov, and myself. The committee reviewed all agenda items and recommends all for board approval. As Mr. Moffitt just mentioned, we expect to receive the state aid information by the end of this week. And our next meeting we have 2 meetings in March 27th, which will be the first of our budget meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. And Governance and Personnel is Ms. Evans.
Okay. The Governance and Personnel Committee met on March 6th. We reviewed all agenda items from tonight's agenda and recommend all for approval. Just a few items on the agenda I'd like to point out. Item 10.01, we have one retirement. Ms. Joanne Van Gulik is retiring after almost 40 years with the district as a speech specialist, and we'd like to thank her for her many years of service and wish her all the best. Item 10.12, we have a couple assemblies and presentations. At Connors School, artist Sherry Shine will be returning and will be exhibiting her work and meeting with parents and children. And at the high school, we'll have a 10-week session from the group Prevent Child Abuse for our girls in 9th through 12th grade. And finally, item 10.15, we have many volunteers for the theater department, and we'd like to thank them for their support of the students and the department. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Board members have any questions or comments on committee reports? No. Then we'll move on to public comments on agenda items. Mr. Moffitt? There's been some recent discussion at our board meetings about public comment portion, and I just would like to review our policies. I want to remind speakers that asked to state their name, municipality, and business affiliation, if any. Board policy allows speakers for 5 minutes. That's not required, but you're allowed up to 5 minutes, and I will, we monitor the time, and I'll quietly give a little motion at discrete indication at about 4 minutes, so it's not to be disruptive. Please address all comments to the board chair. It would be me. Policy states that the board welcomes comments on matters of interest to the board, but this is not an opportunity for dialogue or debate between speakers and board members or the superintendent. Also, Policy 168 does allow members of the public to record the proceedings of a meeting, provided that the recording does not interrupt, inhibit the conduct of the meeting, or distract board members or others present. And beyond that, we have the normal rules of decorum that are at the podium. So who is our first speaker?
We have 5 speakers listed tonight. The first is Patricia Waiters.
Patricia Waiters, Hoboken, New Jersey, 1233 Park Avenue, resident, and also member of the South Hudson Black Parents Workshop from the North Hudson area. All right, tonight I'm speaking on public comments, but I didn't get what you just said, Mr. Chair, in regards to that, because I have in front of me your district policy for public comments. I have a copy here, too, of notice of board meetings. So I'm well aware of the regular rules and regulations of board comments, and I hope tonight we're not being restricted from that, because this is new, first time hearing it. For this is for members of the public that's not aware of it. I'm well aware of it, okay? I have all your documents here. I don't have time to read it into the record, but I will on the public portion. All right, on the, today's agenda, I want to question, wait a minute. And this is not against any lunch aid. I'm seeing 32 for the monitor in the morning, $32.79 an hour for the lunch monitor. Is this an additional to their regular salary, like if you're a teacher and you're gonna monitor the kids in the morning for lunch? That's an addition to their salary, the $32.79, or it's added in the salary? You don't have to answer me yet. With respect to stipends too, I want to know how is that based to like a college student with the stipends? I seen that on the page. And on page, canceled checks. General checking account to TD Bank is 6 checks that was canceled for $1,547.37. To approve the canceled old outdated checks. So I want to know where to address that money, $1,547. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker.
Next speaker is Mr. Gary Enrico.
Good evening. I just want to thank the Board of Education on behalf of the Hoboken Education Association, which I am president, just to thank you for honoring our staff. And as you could hear, throughout the night, they have glowing resumes, and they're basically come to school every day to work for the students of Hoboken. So your recognition means a lot to the association. We will be honoring them at our end of the year party. Anyone who would like to make it from the board, June 14th. At the Waterside. They will be honored again. And on behalf of the music department, I want to thank you for honoring those students, because when you're a musician, sometimes you have to go into different situations, because these kids have been playing with us. When we went to Montclair, if you ever seen a music department, the rooms are pretty small, so the professor was sitting in there, and our kids were walking in with other kids and playing, so they were very nervous, but they did a great job. We were really so happy with them, because they were prepared and they were just ready to go. It's just a moment that happens sometimes in music. You can't really describe it. It's just something that's just ready to happen, and it happened. And as music teachers, sometimes we tell these kids it's just not good enough. They come to us and they do something and it's just not good enough. And as parents, and some of these parents may get mad when we tell your kid it's not good enough, but it motivates them to practice more, and it just was a great day. So I thank you on behalf of those students, our department, and again for the teachers for your recognition tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Roseanne Versace.
Good evening, Roseanne Versace, fourth grade teacher, Wallace School. I just wanted to also echo the congratulatory remarks for our Teachers of the Year and all the students and really everyone in the district that was honored tonight. It's so gratifying to see the achievements appreciated and recognized, and you don't do it for the glory, you really do it for the kids, and you do it for the gratification of seeing them develop and mature. I just like to add a little footnote to Josephine Mazzone. Between Mrs. Mazzone and Mr. Mazzone, we have about 85 years of teaching experience, which is a long time. You know, Josephine she's a dear friend of mine, so maybe I'm a little partial, but she really goes above and beyond. I mean, some of the things that you don't know are a kid doesn't have a coat and they wind up with a coat thanks to her. A kid doesn't have breakfast or lunch and they wind up with breakfast or lunch thanks to her. And this is something that a lot of the teachers do. So it definitely goes beyond curriculum and Common Core and things like that. So I think sometimes maybe people need to be reminded of that. Certainly not you. I appreciate that you're recognizing all these great achievements, but maybe for the people, as they say out in TV land, that's the stuff that you don't hear about from the DOA. And just thank you to Joanne Van Gulik from Wallace School also for her 40-plus years of teaching and servicing the children of the Hoboken Public Schools District. And on behalf of the HEA, we wish her a very restful and enjoyable retirement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Ms. Courtney Wicks.
Thank you, Courtney Wicks, 3611 Park Avenue. Mr. President, since we're directing all comments to you, my question is about the curriculum committee. A few months back, the January meeting, I asked about the homeschooling program. It still hasn't, there's still no report on it. I also brought up the issue of our marginalizing of Black and brown students in the district. There's no mention of it. It's just, you know, talking about advanced placement classes. I also talked about racial tracking. There's no mention of it in the curriculum committee. So my question is, are we even working? Because these are very important issues. It's been 2 months since I've raised some of these issues, and some of these issues I've raised for 3 months. Since the December meeting, and there has not been any work done, at least from what I can see, what I can hear, and the curriculum committee, I'm not sure what that's doing right now, because I would think that is probably where those issues will lie, and since it's now curriculum and wellness, when we look at our numbers as it relates to Black students in our district, and we talk about, I also mentioned classifications, we're not dealing with that either. So on a larger scale, when I look at the agenda items and we talk about curriculum, there's no discussion on instruction and programming, which we've failed in the last 7 years. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about our college readiness scores and what we're gonna do to improve them. We're not talking about any of this stuff. So is that something that the board does? Because we're not discussing any of that stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is, it looks like Sandra Smith.
Sandra Smith at 320 Harrison Street in Housing Authority. I'm just here to, it's been a long time, good evening to everybody. To Ms. Johnson, to the board, I'm inviting you to come down in Housing Authority, April the 14th, and we always have Ms. Johnson, Mr. Fitzhugh, Irene, and some of the board members that I know, and I forgot your names, sir, that came down one time before. And the parents, you know, they love that, because they have questions, and like I said, with the curriculum of school, board, scores, different things, Ms. Johnson answered, guidance counselor, they were there, the principals at the school. So I'm just inviting you that day, Saturday, April the 14th, at 11 o'clock, and we'll have some refreshment, some prizes, and have a good time that day, and to answer some questions that people need to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the end of the list.
Thank you. We now move on to the consent agenda portion of the meeting. And in an earlier discussion tonight, it may appear to people, to the public, that the board often takes action with little discussion, public discussion. But all these things that we're voting on tonight have been reviewed over many, many hours at committee meetings the previous week before a board meeting. That's why we have committees to review every single item with the superintendent, with our business administrator, to vet those, and those discussions are communicated to the rest of the board members who aren't on that particular committee, and then opportunity is given to board members to contact either the board chairperson or the superintendent or the business administrator with any questions. So everything on here is fully vetted, and that's why we were able to have a consent agenda. Otherwise, we'd have to discuss and debate every single thing for hours and hours and hours. And here, that's why we have the committee system, and that's why we have the consent agenda. So, do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Because discussion has already been had, I guess. Okay.
No.
Then, Mr. Moffett, would you call the vote?
Yes, sir. Ms. Angley?
Yes.
Ms. Delara?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Khanna?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Okay, here we go. 7.01, abstain. 11.05, no. Now this one's confusing. 13.02. On the R subject, I'm abstaining, and on the other one, I'm saying yes to.
So all the rest, yes.
Oh, yes, there's one other one.
Just the R.
Okay.
Just R.
And everything else, yes.
Ms. Sobola?
Yes.
Ms. Takirian?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
And Mr. Klefeld?
I must abstain on 11.04 and vote yes on everything else. Thank you.
Motion passed.
Motion passes. Thank you. That gets us to public comments on any remaining agenda or non-agenda items. Mr. Moffett?
Okay, first speaker, we have, looks like 10 in total. The first one is Melania Katamarori. Did I get it close?
8:38.
Good evening. It's actually Melania. I get Melania a lot these days. Melania Katamarori, 632 Bloomfield Street, Hoboken. I have 2 children in the public school system. I also happen to be the president of Calabro PTOs, my first year on any PTO. I'm really here to kind of talk about, and there's not a lot of parents here, but also to address the president about what the PTOs are doing these days. I think it's a little bit different than we've done previously, and also how that we hope that that is going to benefit all the children in our district. So I just want to start out so people understand that I am a working mother. I grew up in the public school system in Philadelphia proper. So I appreciate the public school system. I think this is a great public school system. All systems can be improved, and I think it takes parent involvement to do that, which is why I got involved. I actually never thought I'd be on the PTO ever, but here I am. So first I want to say that in this position, I never expected this. I'm very impressed by all the PTOs, and there's a bunch of PTO members here from Connors, from Wallace. I think our Brant PTO members couldn't be here today, but we've all started really working together. So what we're endeavoring to do, and excuse me if this has happened before, but I think what we're endeavoring to do now is to work together to share ideas, to work together to raise funds. And just in case people don't know this, when we raise funds, it's 100% for the enhancement of our children's education. All that money goes to programs for the enhancement of our children's education. We work really closely with teachers, we work really closely with staff, we work closely with everyone to figure out what they need. And that's what we do. So when you get those annoying flyers that say give money or we're doing this, we're doing that, it all goes towards the enhancement of our children's education. That's something I learned, I never knew before, I didn't appreciate, and now I appreciate it to no end. We're trying to ensure by all working together that the district, all the district, especially elementary kids right now, have the same opportunities for the enhancements and resources that they have maybe enjoyed, you know, honestly at like Wallace or other schools. We're trying to get together all the schools so we can all work together to give everybody the same opportunities. We're starting to meet regularly. Everyone's heard about the Wizards event, sold out. The Wizards event is actually a huge accomplishment, I think, for all the schools working together to raise money for all the kids. It's going to be a great, you know, really community event, bring everybody together. There's also, you know, more across the board support, I think, for us. We're working together with teachers and with each other, and more interaction, and we hope meaningful representation for parent concerns as well as support. And I'm not sure how it works. The people that I've met on the PTOs are very open. They will talk to anybody. I don't know if parents really know how available we are, and how we don't just look at, I mean, at least I can speak for myself. I don't just think about the things that I want, I think about the things that everybody needs, and I try to play both sides, and I think that that's the important part of being on a PTO. One thing I did want to highlight, and I would love to get some buy-in for this, is we started something at Calabro, it's called a Career Day. What we're doing is we're having the 5th and 6th graders every last Friday of the month come together in our multi-purpose room. We're a small school, in our multi-purpose room, to sit and ask questions of a panel of parents about their careers or their work or whatever it is. And not just, you know, sort of your doctor, lawyer kind of thing, but anything, things they never thought of. You know, as a working mother and as a recruiter for what I do, I realize that people need to understand early what they have to do to kind of make it in this world. So education as well as other things. It's a diverse backgrounds. One of the best quotations we got from a student was that of all the people they met, it taught them to work hard, that if they want something, to work hard. So what I'd love to do is get that in all the schools and then actually ultimately try to get it into the middle school when eventually the 6th grades all move to the middle school. So I'd love to do it. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Gina Dobson.
Gina Dobson, 621 Madison Street. I'm here simply to share a few words of thanks and appreciation for the education that my children are getting in the Hoboken Public School District. I didn't know actually that it was Teacher Appreciation Night, so it's a little serendipitous and maybe a little repetitive for me to say all this, but it was important to me. It's been on my mind for a while. We've been in the district schools for 6 years now, and while change has been a constant during that time, I've never doubted for a second that the teachers, administration, and staff have all been working towards a common goal of creating the best possible learning experience for the students. I have a 2nd grader and 5th grader, and they're with me tonight. And they often come out of school at pickup time bursting with something to tell me. It might be their STEAM tank projects and how well it went filming their presentations. It might have been how fun it was to work with the VEX IQ sets that day and how far they managed to get the robots to move. I have heard my 5th grader say things like, "Our Socratic seminar was really fun," to which I responded enthusiastically and did not let on that I had only used Google a few days earlier to find out what a Socratic seminar even was, because her teacher had mentioned it to us in an email to the parents. Through the Johns Hopkins program, my older daughter has worked with college instructors to hone her writing skills. She has tried her hand at cryptography, which excited my computer programmer husband to no end. And she found a love of Greek mythology. She entered her first Chinese class this year with much trepidation, thanks to a helpful classmate who told her that Chinese is the hardest language to learn. But she came out loving it and now uses her burgeoning Chinese language skills whenever she can. My younger daughter decided to try the chestnuts class in Passport to Learning at the start of this year and discovered a passion for chess. She relentlessly challenged everyone in the family to games at home until she had beat all of us and grew disappointed by our inability to give her adequate competition. My older daughter takes Feel the Beats, which is a class that uses technology to create and record music tracks. When I went to the parent information night and listened to the instructor, Jack Sculler, I was blown away. He spoke passionately about how he incorporates concepts like growth mindset into the class and how the class's philosophy was, and I quote this because it was so good, to coach each student to personal greatness by teaching the musical concepts and personal skills necessary to plan an idea, problem solve, persist, and be a valuable part of the larger learning community, end quote. All that is packed into a curriculum where, again, my daughter simply just has so much fun. I could talk for ages about how much I have loved their talented, thoughtful, and skilled teachers, but I'm going to try to narrow it down to just a few examples. My daughter just poked me and told me that Miss Christina Galerio was here, and I was going to mention her next. I didn't know she was here. So my younger daughter was nervous to transition from first grade to second grade, and knowing that, her amazing teacher, Christina Galerio, continued to give her support even after my daughter was no longer in her class. This wonderful teacher remembered my daughter's birthday a year after leaving her class and left her a little pencil and sticker and note on her desk in her new classroom to wish her a happy birthday. And that gift made my daughter feel so good that she brought it home and displayed it on a shelf in her room in a place of honor, telling me that she didn't want to use it because it was special. I read this to my older daughter, and she was a little embarrassed that I was telling you all this, but I once found my older daughter sitting in bed meditating on a night that she couldn't sleep thanks to the influence of her math teacher, Nicole Murphy. Bedtime is when my kids often suddenly want to talk about their day, and that night she enthusiastically told me how Mrs. Murphy would bring in a Tibetan singing bowl and use it to help the students clear their minds and get ready to learn math. My daughter told me that she then started practicing that at home whenever she couldn't get to sleep, and I think that whenever a teacher has such a positive influence on your kids that they start meditating at home, that is pretty great. The incredible Mrs. Christina Arnone goes above and beyond for her students without a second's hesitation over and over again. Recently, Mrs. Arnone used her lunch periods and her after-school time to help my older daughter practice for a county spelling bee, and then came out on a dreary Saturday morning last month to cheer her on in the competition. Chinese, cartography, learning to create melodic loops, the only things that tops all these incredible learning opportunities that my kids have had is something that Mrs. Donna Pukash wrote to me in an email after the tragedy in Parkland. In my email to her, I had thanked her again for her work and her dedication teaching the students, especially after something like the incident that had just occurred. And her response to me was, quote, "I love my students. I am their protector and their educator. That is why I was put on earth." End quote. So it doesn't get any better than that. So I've had this on my mind for a while. I wanted to come out and say thank you and credit these teachers.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Ms. Patricia Waiters.
Miss Patricia Waiters, hold your applause, because I don't want any. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but see, what happens is, let me just read this real quick into the record, and make sure you time me, Courtney. Here I have a notice of board meetings district policy, and I have the public comments, complaints, and grievances. I don't care if half of Hoboken, okay, come up here and tell you their little nice fairy tale stories and the greatness of their kids. I don't think it's right for you to look down on the ones that come up here with a negative impact. Don't judge no two people's experiences to be alike, okay, because it looks so disingenuous now. And I wish I could share the 37 texts that I got from people watching the last board meeting over and over and over again. I couldn't even shop in ShopRite without somebody stopping me down the aisle saying, "Patricia Waiters, oh my God, out, I don't believe what's going on in the district. By not addressing a serious situation like racism, it don't just disappear. It's going to get worse, okay? So I want you to take this again seriously, like I said the other night, because now I'm addressing it to not only you, Mr. President, I'm addressing it to this board as a whole, especially the new board members, okay? How do you think that looked to our community in Hoboken for far too long with that power-stricken mind? What took place with one of your board members, like I told you, I wanted it to be taken very serious. I talked to the business administrator. The only reason I didn't forward this complaint because I have the city and the public, okay? Members of the public, I have notes here from kids that slid notes under my door. I brought here an article for the new members that don't know Pat Waiters, okay, and show you my work and show you my qualifications, okay? And for you to still vote on something and know something took place that was wrong and to sit here is absolutely not acceptable in Hoboken. Okay, so not only I'm gonna share the violations, I'm asking that Irene Soboloff resign that seat, okay? Or now it won't turn into just a complaint, it will be a movement, because I will see to that. I have 3 incidents, okay? 3 incidents, I'm talking facts. The horrible emails, the horrible websites, the racial websites with Nancy Pickett's, everything. The thing just happened with the sexual thing with the butt buddies. How much more are you gonna keep letting the board member get away with unethical behavior, okay? So I don't care who you go hire to come and stand at this microphone and tell you how wonderful their experiences is. It make it look more. It hurts us even more because it's like we not getting that attention, okay? That's why you don't see black mothers at this microphone. But when they watch it at home, it's a joke. Okay, it's a joke. I'm quite sure. I used to come up here with Ralph and Deshauna and say, we love Mr. Mazzone, we love Miss Rosenberg, but it's sad. If it's happening, let's do something about it, okay? I don't care at this point about nobody's personal feelings. This is our children and their life is at stake. Okay, I want to be taken very serious when I forward this complaint because what she did was dirty. Not only dirty, it was illegal to go into the housing authority. I will send you the provision numbers to go recruit an unqualified candidate and only picked her because she was black. Because we asked you to bring a black candidate. And I told you that in my interview. I made it loud and clear. So this young lady that was another candidate because she was white, she's more than qualified, she wasn't picked. Is that fair? Is that fair, ladies? Especially the ones that run in Wallace and make promises to the workers that work there. You are abusing your authority. You abusing your authority is very unethical, and I'm telling you again, we're gonna gather up and see y'all stick with us like what's going on in California and everywhere. It gets serious, because what you doing, you causing a riot. You got housing authority fighting each other down there. They upset. What you did was wrong. It was wrong, and you gotta, listen, I'm telling you now, Mr. Chair, okay, because you the president, so you can get your board member. I'm asking for her to resign, okay? We have enough facts and evidence. We don't have no room for racism in Hoboken. I refuse. When you got the NAACP president in hiding, have not responded to none of this, I'm telling you, racism is a very sticky topic, and it's worse because we got our commander-in-chief allowing this. And it's not fair. Please do something about it. These kids need attention too. You're not gonna wait till one of these kids snap and go into school and do something with your very same kids. Oh, should I change that? Your kid's not even in the district. So they're not gonna be impacted. That's why you sit there with a known disregard. It's disgusting. And I'm gonna tell you again, I have it here that you all can share, the new board members, okay? Get some type of integrity, get some kind of conscience, okay, when you sleep at night. Because your kids still gotta meet with our kids in society. It might not be in Hoboken. They might grow up together and see each other down the road in their career. So you think about all of that, and you take, and I'm telling you, take me very serious when I say this. It ain't about conquering and divide. Irene, your little slogan with the black on black ain't gonna work. I have nothing against you, Georgie, but I want one thing. I'm asking in my complaint, to wrap it up, I'm asking in my complaint, the same standards and policies that we go through when we become board members and run for the board. I'm asking for a drug test, and I'm asking for a background check. Okay, please. I'm wrapping it up, but my 5 minutes seem very fast, President, because see, it ain't what you want to hear. It ain't to your favor, right? But it's facts. And I'm asking you to close, and I'm closing out. Take me very serious on this one, okay? Please, the information is here for you to share. Do your homework next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is James Castiglione.
James Castiglione, 412 Washington Street, Hoboken, New Jersey. Here to speak about our family's sincere satisfaction with the education that our daughter has received in her several years here in the Hoboken Public Schools. And I want to start, because I think it perhaps doesn't get said often enough, by thanking the teachers and the staff for all the work that they do, thanking the board members for the time that you volunteer, and thank our superintendent for your leadership. All the work that is done is much appreciated. I've lived in Hoboken for 20 years, and even in that time, I've seen tremendous transformation here in the city, and specifically in the school district. My wife and I have decided to make Hoboken our permanent home, and one of the reasons that we have decided to do so is because of the quality of the schools and our experience, and we know that our daughter is getting a quality education. Many of you know that for many years, that typically was not the pattern. People would move to Hoboken, have children, and leave, and things are changing dramatically. We see progress. We see progress in the schools at all levels. Certainly the pre-K level, with I think nearly 1,000 students this year and for next year, shows the confidence that the public has in the pre-K program. In the elementary schools, there are a number of initiatives that Dr. Johnson has brought forward. The Passport program is one in particular, providing a high-quality aftercare experience for all members of the community. The district musical, which I guess is entering its 7th year here in incorporating participation from children at all levels, is really a fantastic programmatic addition for the district. The junior high and the high school, we've seen a number of programs initiated in recent years. Graduation rates continue to be high. I understand about 90% of the graduating class is going to be going to college or trade school, which is a very high percentage. And I want to particularly cite the quality of the teachers. This is not only from my own personal experience with teachers that have lived in my building that we've come to know, but talking with other educators, they have nothing but positive things to say about the quality of the corps of teachers, especially in the high school. Public schools play an extremely important role in every community, and it certainly is true here in Hoboken because they serve all. And that is a strength. The diversity of the system is a strength, and it's something that my wife and I value. We have seen in our daughter's classes the opportunities that she's had to interact and become friends with kids from all backgrounds and from all walks of life. And we appreciate that aspect that the district has to offer. And I would note that the Passport program is another way that the district is serving all, and the fact that it is so affordable makes it a tremendous opportunity for every member of the Hoboken community with children in the district. And the fact that we are able to offer it, I think, is a tribute to the sound financial stewardship that this board and the administration and previous members of the board in recent years have exerted over the finances of the district. And I think it's not stated often enough how important that is in having the district offer the quality of education that it does. Typically, attendance at these meetings is light, and I would encourage the board members and the teachers to consider that a sign of confidence. I know from my conversations with friends in the district that there is a deep and broad sense of confidence in the district, and I think perhaps that's too often not stated. So I'd like to close, as I started, by thanking the teachers and the staff for the work that they do, the board members for your volunteer work, and the superintendent for your leadership. And since I'm not allowed to address the superintendent, I'll address the chair. Please make sure that she stays for a very, very long time. Thank you.
Next speaker is Jackie Dowd Prince.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jackie Dowd Prince. I am the co-founder and secretary of the Hoboken Public Education Foundation. I'd like to give an update on the foundation tonight, but first, for those who may not know us, a little background. HPEF is a nonprofit 501c3 that was founded and is run by Hoboken parents interested in making a difference in our community. HPEF mission is twofold. One, to raise private funds for the benefit of our district schools, and two, to bring awareness to and highlight the amazing schools we have here. Now for the update. First, I am pleased to share that we had an amazing turnout for our third annual Mom's Night Out that was held at Willie McBride's on February 8th. We had 200 moms in attendance, not just from our public schools, but also those with children in the charter and private schools as well. The positive energy, as always, was incredible, and I was personally very excited to see such support for the district and to know that there were so many who share our view that a strong public school system benefits all of us. Next, many people have been asking about our next event. This is our marquee event, our third annual gala, which is coming up on May 17th. I hope you're all holding the date. It will be at Lulu's in Hoboken. Tickets will be released in late March, early April, so please be on the lookout. If you are not signed up for our events notices and newsletters, please do so on our website, hobokenpef.org. I think I can speak for our entire board that we are super excited to show everyone a great time again, and for a great cause. For those who can help beyond attending, which is big help, we are looking for corporate sponsors, private donors, raffles, and in-kind donations. So if you know someone or you can help, please let us know at hobokenpef@gmail.com. And last but not least, the reason we do all this, the money. We are so excited to fund many important initiatives across the district this past fall, from our Newsella Literacy Initiative for all elementary schools to the Global Conflict and Resolution Challenges for grades 6 through 12. I could go on, but I think it'd be better if you just go to our website if you want to see details of what we funded. But I want to especially note that we recently announced a new area of funding for inclusion and diversity within the district. First, a 2-day workshop on coaching for equitable practice at NYC Leadership Academy that was on February 22nd and 23rd. And second, we are funding the tuition at Wellesley College for 6 participants in the National Seed Project to participate and serve as certified leaders to lead local seminars for staff, parents, students, and community members in Hoboken. The National Seed Project is a peer-led professional development program that creates conversational communities to drive personnel, organizational, and societal change toward greater equity and diversity. We do this by training individuals to facilitate ongoing seminars within their own institutions and communities. Seed leaders design their seminars to include personal reflection and testimony, listening to others' voices, and learning experientially and collectively. Through this methodology, SEED equips us to connect our lives to one another and society at large by acknowledging systems of oppression, power, and privilege. And now our president, Sherelle Pollack, asked me to read something for her as she could not be here tonight. Since being diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer in September, the Hoboken community as a whole has been incredibly helpful to me and my family, and most especially the school community. Superintendent Dr. Christine Johnson and Wallace Principal Martin Shannon, along with the teachers and the social workers, have supported my family in so many ways, and I am forever grateful. This is a real testament of how united this Hoboken community is, especially at the school level, and I am very proud to be a Hoboken public school parent. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is April Clark.
Good evening. My name is April Clark, 518 Bloomfield Street.
Some of you know my husband, Chris Clark. He's usually the talker, but I'm here today as an educator and a mom, something I hold very true to my heart. My husband and I are both longtime residents of Hoboken with 4 children currently at Wallace School. We have loved the dynamic, accessible, and expansive curriculum at the school, including its enrichment programs, and are completely vested in the Hoboken school education system with Dr. Johnson at the helm. I've been working as a high school math teacher for the last 20 years, and I am currently employed at the Riverdale Regional High School, an IJ district, school district in Bergen County. I teach AP Statistics and Algebra 2, but have also taught everything from Algebra 1 to Calculus. I have personally reviewed and compared the curriculum of Hoboken High School, supported by Dr. Johnson, and in my opinion, it is more rigorous and competitive than that of the school district I teach. It puts Hoboken High School students in a position to be ahead of the curve. Dr. Johnson, in our experience, has been incredibly accessible, receptive, and responsive to parental suggestions and input in pursuit of an ever richer learning experience from kindergarten through 12th grade. In short, she is a visionary and committed to making the Hoboken district education experience challenging, inclusive, and receptive with ever-expanding opportunities in academics, athletics, and music performing arts, as my daughter received her certificate earlier this evening. Recently, my husband Chris worked with Dr. Johnson and Chris Delafave to get an introduction to golf and introduced in the Passport to Learning program in the fall of this school year. This is just one example of Dr. Johnson's openness and commitment to improving the district's offerings. My husband Chris has seen previous superintendents use Hoboken as a vehicle and stepping stone in pursuit of other personal career goals. Dr. Johnson is not that person. She is committed to cultivating and driving an ever richer Hoboken school experience and overseeing its ongoing success. As we look forward, we as a family share Dr. Johnson's vision of Hoboken's educational excellence and its many future unprecedented achievements and installments. Dr. Johnson is the perfect steward to handle the growing student body and ensure all students have the opportunity to excel and find their own path. I will conclude with this. To the board and Dr. Johnson, we are fortunate to have you, Dr. Johnson, leading the district with your vision and work ethic for what I hope is for many years to come. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Roseanne Versace.
It's a decline.
Going to pass? Okay. Ms. Courtney Wicks.
Courtney Wicks, 3611 Park Avenue. Before I start my
Your
statement,
municipality, please.
3611 Park Avenue. You didn't ask the last speaker that.
She told me.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
Well, the other,
So what,
other
first of
speakers
all,
have.
wait, can we just time out, please? Can we
No.
just take a time out? All right.
Go ahead, proceed.
3611 Park Avenue. Okay. First, I want to back pat up on Irene Soboloff resigning. I know she told me herself that she used to use the N-word. She referred to the black community as the bought vote, not worthy of courting. I sent you an email complaining of which you never respond to any of my emails. I bet you that's just probably something you do to parents of color. So I just want to put that, because I've sent several complaints to you, and as the board president of the board, you have never responded to anything, so I just want to put that on the record. All right, so I'm going to read this statement. The collective and pervasive failure of the Hoboken Public School District to provide a quality and equitable education to Black, brown, and low-income students is harming student outcomes. The inability to unlock the human potential of all children, regardless of their color or economic status, is what is at issue here. There are clear patterns of discrimination and negligence when it comes to providing a trusted learning environment that supports the basic tenets of a child's right to a quality education under the law. These patterns of discrimination include racial tracking, segregating schools at the elementary school level, limiting access to pre-K 3-4 programs and advanced placement classes, programs, and instruction, subjection to harsher discipline practices, raising rates of classification in home instruction, and intentionally marginalizing parents and employees of color via ruinous hierarchies. The combination creates an atmosphere that demoralizes Black, brown, and low-income children and separates children of color from their white peers. All of these mechanisms serve to trap, stigmatize, and stereotype these children by the 3rd grade. These mischaracterizations rob them of their dignity by implying they are incapable of learning at the same level or beyond as their non-Black, brown, and low-income peers, leaving the impression that they have no real potential to contribute to society in a positive and purposeful way. This devastating fiction about Black, brown, and low-income students is used to justify various forms of segregation and exclusionary practices perpetuated by Board of Education directives, the superintendent, other senior level administrators, and many of the teachers. Rather than ensuring all children have a fair and equal chance to advance, Hoboken is intentionally and willfully preventing these outcomes. According to the State of New Jersey District Report, Hoboken Public School District has a racial achievement gap that is 3 times greater than the state average. In 2016-17, Hoboken students' achievement percentage for Black students was 12.9% versus 62.5% for white students in the high school. This compares poorly to the statewide average achievement gap of 35% for Blacks and 63% for whites. Great Schools, a nonprofit organization that is a resource guide for parents, rates Hoboken Public School District a 2 out of 10 for equity and student progress. 10 is the highest score. Standard University Center for Education Policy and Analysis ranked Hoboken Public School District in the 13th percentile for growth rates. According to Stanford results, disadvantaged students attending Hoboken Public Schools lose a year of growth from 3rd to 8th grade. Lastly, the State of New Jersey Department of Education gave every public school, including charter schools, a grade. Connors Elementary School, which has the highest concentration of Black and Latino and low-income students, received a grade of 7 out of 100, compared to Calabro, which received a grade of 84 out of 100, and Wallace Elementary received a grade of 37 out of 100. Hoboken Middle School received a grade of 8 out of 100, and Hoboken High School received a score of 22 out of 100. The middle school has a population of approximately 200 students, of which 25% of the total population is African American. Hoboken High School has an African American population of approximately 24%, with a total population of 445 students. Additionally, Hoboken Public School has failed CUSAC scores for the 7th year in a row in instruction and programming, according to the State of New Jersey Department of Education. Through various policies, initiatives, spearheaded by the Board of Education and the Superintendent of Schools, the district is experiencing an accelerated rate of whitewashing, which is a byproduct of the leadership's goal to attract more white students into the school system.
Ms. Wicks? Time's up.
I'm not done. You didn't time the other lady. She went way over.
I've timed everyone tonight.
I know. I wasn't talking to anyone. So I'm going to finish my statement. You're going to have to arrest me. So you're going to have to arrest me. This is a flawed strategy because the emphasis is on flipping the student population and not addressing the underlying issues of the school district's policy. Inability to dramatically improve its overall academic performance, close the achievement gaps, and ensure students are college and career ready.
For the record, we just are coming back from about a 10-minute recess, which we went into when a speaker refused to yield at the 5-minute mark. So we'll resume with the meeting. Mr. Moff, is there another
The last speaker is Mr. Enrico.
A jacket?
There's one right here.
Yeah, right behind Mr. Stevens.
I've known Irene Sobolov a long, long time. All right, and I would say state publicly that you were not a racist. I know it from working with you. And as far as from the teachers' point of view, we are with the Board of Education. This is the show that they put on. It's a big show because of the cameras, and they want to get on TV, these people. So they'll do anything possible to get on. All right? Like I've said in the past, I've been a board member. I know how hard it is to sit up there and people tell them lies, but that's what these people do. And as far as the superintendent, I want you to know that the teachers are fully behind you and everything that you're offering the district. And I know nights like this, it's tough because we've talked numerous times when no one's around and we just, talk about things. So I'm asking you to ride this out, all right, because you have a lot to offer this district, Christine. All right, and I don't want you to be swayed by these people. They're all just looking for publicity because in some ways they're racist. But I had a big thing planned for tonight, but I don't want to get into it now because it's late, first of all, and I want to stay positive on what we're doing here as a district. I'm here starting my 43rd year, and the guy, is he still here, that guy? The one that had the sweater on, basically hit it. We had many superintendents, but we finally got one, I think, that believes in the district and is committed to the district, and they're trying to derail it, all right? And I want you to know, Christina, you have our support, and I know the board is behind you 100%. This is a show. Believe me, it's just a show. All right? It's the same circus, different clowns, and they're going to go off one day and we're going to forget about them. So hopefully you can understand what we're saying as teachers. I know I speak on behalf of my vice president here, and it's just a show. All right? So Irene, all I could say is you're not a racist. No matter what they say up here, it's just a joke, really, and they're a joke. But enjoy the rest of the evening, and see you next time.
Thank you. That was the last speaker.
Yes, it was.
Board members, any comments?
Can I speak first? May I? Do you mind? Her name's down?
I better find this.
Town clock. Wait 1 second.
Good evening. Linda Pizarro. My address is 221 Jackson Street. I have something to say tonight. First of all, I want to congratulate the board, and I want to congratulate all the people that were honored here tonight. I didn't even know that the ceremony was going on for all the honorees from pre-K all the way up to the high school, and I was so excited about it when I heard the teachers being honored and all their achievement and all their academic education and all the things that they're doing for the students. And for me to hear that and to see the diversity in the children that were honored and the teachers, and then to after that, to hear such ignorance go on after that, I'm just appalled. And I must say, as a parent and a grandparent of kids that go to the public school, and I have all of my children graduated high school here in Hoboken, and I am so honored to be a grandmother of grandkids that still go to the school district because they're young. And so I just want to say is that I am just appalled that people that would use for their own, this platform for their own personal and political gain, because that's all it is about. And I absolutely know that, because I absolutely know these people before, even my daughter was on the board. And I absolutely must say, and I have the right to say, as just a parent and a grandparent, is that when I heard about the vacancy on the board, I personally went to my daughter, who had asked her way before to run for the board years ago, and because I knew she was qualified, I know her education, I know that she can And I'm telling you, I wanted her to be on this board. And I did not want her to be on this board just because of the color of her skin. Do not want my daughter to represent the black people. I want my daughter to represent all people, because I think that is what is right. Anybody who would need help, anybody who needs to understand how a board is run, or to be able to hire a qualified superintendent. I personally was a member of the Hoboken Housing Authority. I was on the Board of Commissioners, so we had to hire, we had to hire the person that ran the Hoboken Housing Authority. So I know about stuff like that, being on a board and having responsibility to do what's right, and not to do, that you don't be just bullied by other people, and you do what you feel is right in your heart. And I raised my children like that too. So I can stand here and say that I personally pushed my daughter, who even at the end, she said, I'm not gonna do that, Ma, I'm not gonna do that. I said, yes, you are. You are going to. You're going to get on this board, and you're going to do a good job. And I think that that's, even though she's just been here for a little while, I think she's doing excellent so far. And I think that all you members of this board is doing an excellent job, especially the superintendent. And I can personally say, as a parent and a grandparent, and as somebody who has observed and been an activist for many years, and am a resident of the Hoboken Housing Authority, that I will not let nobody stand up at this podium or anywhere in this city and say they represent me, when personally they don't even live in the Housing Authority, first of all. So how can you represent the people of the Housing Authority? And how can you stand here and say, when they're not here, that you are standing up here for them and their children? I absolutely will not be a part of that. And I would like to say, and at last, that I do not like the fact that they will use the color of their skin to intimidate and harass people on the board just because they can. And I think that what happened tonight here was one ghetto, and that's the word I have to use. I can't think of no other word. And I think that that is not a way you represent yourself. And I think that if they want to do certain things like that, and they think that they have such a case, that they should go get a lawyer and then get a lawsuit. And I bet you they won't do that, because I believe, just like he said, I want to echo his word, that it's all a show. And it's for people who are showboating and want to be and just can't be. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, another interesting meeting. In the last 4 months, this district has been called, I was called a racist first. Then our teachers, our principals, our guidance counselors, our aides, and our superintendent, our assistant superintendent have all been called racist here, and they're from here. Anyone knows, growing up as a kid, your teacher loved every kid. Maybe not every day. Sometimes we could be pains, us children, when I was at least, or whatever. But I never saw a racist teacher in this district when I went to school here. And there isn't a racist district. This is not a racist district. Okay? You just throw words around about people. And listen, everyone, if this was true, people wouldn't keep their children in this district the way it's thriving, okay? If that was true, if there were anybody in this district, now, to get to our board members, me and a fellow board member, Irene, may have had our problems over the years. I know Irene isn't a racist. She grew up in Hoboken just as I did. Her family stayed during tough times, and we were part of that. And we liked it, we loved it here, that's why we're still here. I know Irene didn't say that word that she's being accused of, and I think that's the most disgusting thing. Because you know people are going to take that label and then start running with it, people that are just hateful and disgusted, okay? So, I mean, it's just a fact. If our district, like I said, everybody on this board, last meeting was called a racist, except me last meeting, but I was the other meeting. And they were all calm and relaxed, and I wanted them all to get up like I did, but we're all different, and that's why we're all good together here. But no one here deserves to be called something they're not, just for showtime, okay? I have no time to do this whole garbage stuff that we're doing. We're here for the good of the children of this district, okay? So with that, To all our board members, none of yous are racist, and we all know it. So, everyone speak up for themselves tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
There seems to be some confusion about the board seat, and I just wanted to explain that when somebody resigns from a seat, an ad goes in the paper, and there's a deadline, and then it gets shared through social media. I think every one of us has spoken to people about coming, answered questions maybe they had about joining the board. I spoke to many people. We had 4 candidates. They were awesome. I thank every single one that came. It's really, really difficult, as we can see, to kind of put yourself out there, even if you're just trying to volunteer to serve your community. So I don't know what the confusion is about that, but I just kind of wanted to clear that up a little bit. And then also, I just wanted to respond to one thing. I don't understand, I don't personally subscribe to the notion that people, as John said, I grew up in Hoboken. I have friends in every corner of Hoboken. I don't understand this notion where you're not allowed to visit certain places or certain neighborhoods. And that's actually the theme of one of the things I wanted to mention tonight, which is the Hoboken Community Dinner. And that started as a community meeting, and everybody there, including myself, had a real desire to kind of come together and get to know each other, and we thought we could do that over a meal, sharing a meal and sort of sharing conversation. And yesterday was the 13th month, and it grows stronger and bigger every day. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a great thing that is great for the community, and I hope that everybody comes out. It's the second Monday of the month, right before the board meeting. So I just wanted to mention that. And the personal attacks on me, I will not address. They're absolute lies, and I won't even dignify them with a response. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Gurian.
Thank you. The last couple of months have been, I think, challenging as we as a district and as a board and as an administration and as teachers have been accused of being racist, right? And I think that for everybody sitting at this table, the reasons why we are here, those of us who are board members or volunteers, we do it because we love Hoboken, because we love the children, all of the children, not just for our children. If we wanted to do things just for our children, we can do that easily without coming up here, without running for office and all that goes along with that. One of the reasons that I chose to run for office and join this wonderful group of people is because I believe that the people sitting at this table have both those who are employees of the district and those of us who are on the board have the best interest of this community at heart, that they genuinely believe, that we genuinely believe in our kids, in our community, and in our schools. And it's disheartening because, as a number of people have said, this is a platform every month where people can come up and speak to say what's on their mind, and that's wonderful. This is the country we live in. It's a country that allows for free speech, but it has to be productive, and it has to have an end of collaboration and cooperation. And so I just encourage, if there are people in this community that are angry or who do not feel like this school district is serving their children, rather than being angry, reach out for help from your principal, from a teacher, from one of us, from our administrators who are wonderful, superintendent, assistant superintendent, and others, because everybody who's at this table, and the teachers in our school district and our professionals and the parents and the community at large are here for the general good of the school district and everybody's kids, regardless of color, nationality, ethnicity, economic level, and background. And I wouldn't be sitting at this table if I thought that the people here didn't actually have the best interest of the children, all of the children at heart. And it's, for me personally, the folks who are attacking this board and our administration, they don't know me personally at all. And if they did, they would have something different to say. So thanks for all of you who come out and support us, and We're going to continue to fight the fight for our children, because that's what actually matters. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say something. I am a longtime resident of Hoboken, my whole life basically. And I live in the projects, and from my knowledge, from the people I talk to, from the people that I know, we do not feel like we are being represented, especially by the people that come here. When we have a problem, we tend to go and follow the chain of command. And our problems are secured and taken care of, so it never reaches this board. I'm a mother of 3 children. I've graduated from these schools in this district. And I have a problem when people come up here and say things that this board just governs what Ms. Johnson does. But she's doing a fantastic job in taking care of our children, all of our children. And when people say stuff against us, I wish that they would know the backstory or get the correct digits from the data that they're receiving and comparing us to the whole entire state of New Jersey when they don't even know about the city that they actually live in. The people of the projects hold me as their voice. And when I voice my opinion to anybody on this board, they listen to me. They actually respect my opinion. And I am more than qualified, and not because I'm black, not because I'm from the projects, because I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not ignorant. And I refuse to let anybody say that about me. But you know what? If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. And I want to be part of the solution, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no other comments, I think, Mr. Gagliardi, you wanted to say something.
I did want to say something. I wanted to make the closing arguments for tonight, which is something I get to do once in a while. I've been representing this district, which is a privilege of mine, for over 8 years, and like so many of you, I have my family's roots in this community. And it would be a source of great concern for me, because I've seen people like this come and go, to have 1 or 2 individuals derail the excellent work being done for thousands of students and with hundreds of employees in this district. I think for tonight, my respectful request to you, Mr. President, and the members of the board and the people in this audience is to not remember the unfortunate ugliness which disrupted the meeting, but for me, I would suggest that we remember an earlier part of the meeting when we honored the finest of the finest among our educators. And when we did that, and I sat here, what I saw were African-American administrators hugging white teachers, and every one of them celebrating the joy of educating children. And if we're going to take something with us from this evening, Mr. President, my respectful request is that we do that and ignore the ugliness which disrupted tonight's proceedings. Thank you, sir.
I have a habit of always taking my attorney's advice, so thank you for that. No further business. So our next meeting is in 2 weeks. We have the little short turnaround here. It's the submission of the preliminary budget to the board. Should be just a quick 20-minute meeting, it usually is, and once we accept it, then the administration can turn the budget over to the county superintendent for review. So that's in 2 weeks from tonight. So without further ado, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? No.